Hello everyone, welcome to ESRL. If you're watching after the stream, then feel free to skip forward as I just get everything set up and we wait to go. I think we're about to go, so... live chats, get my stream in Discord. Okie dokie. Hi Rick, welcome in. Well, I hope so. We'll see. Oh, I mean, it depends how long, for how much time he left a gap. Like, if it was just down a straight, then I understand, because I did the same, because the delta was fucking awful. Shouldn't really swear that hard on the commentator stream, but oh well. But yeah, but if it was for like half the track, then yes, that's penalty worthy. Okay, it looks like we're about to get underway. Hello to everyone watching. All 4 of you? Question mark? I think there's 4 people here. We are here in France for the French Grand Prix. Let me get a track map up. So because I was saying for Zandvoort I didn't have a track map up, so I was just a lot of the time I was saying, and he makes a move into that corner. I didn't know the corner names. Okay. Okay, it looks like we are about to be underway for the French Grand Prix. 19 driver grid, you love to see it. Hopefully we have more finishers than last week, because last week was a bit of a disaster on that front in Zandvoort. But France is a harder track to DNF on, at least, with all of that space available. And looks like Ugoni is going to be the first out on a lap in the Williams. It's had well, he hasn't had a great season so far, Ugoni. He couldn't make it to Zandvoort, unfortunately, and didn't finish in the first race in Monza, so he's got a point to prove, Ugoni does. Hopefully he can do a bit better today. as he comes into Sector 2. So, yeah, so just have a bit of thoughts on the championship. Good luck to you too, Amir. Good to see you in the chat. But yeah, a few thoughts on the championship. NER Ayrton is currently absolutely miles ahead. After only 3 races, he's already got 76 points to his nearest rival, Plev's 52. He's won all 3 races so far, and he doesn't look like stopping, so it's going to take some doing to beat him today. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. But we'll see if anyone can manage it. And Ugoni is going to be the first one to try as he gets off to a start in this qualifying session. Up to turn 1. It's very difficult to find the braking zone for turn 1. He's gone very deep. That's already lost a few tenths, and that's going to lose rather a few more tenths, going very wide on exit. He hasn't invalidated, but that's going to have lost him a lot of time. So we'll go right on board with someone else. Let's go with Tia, who somehow doesn't invalidate there. Hello, Lifebelt. Welcome in. Good to see you in the chat. Tia is starting his first lap on the mediums. So the strategy call around here is an interesting one. If I can get my shit together, I might get a second, says Rick. Well, I wish you luck, mate. It's going to be very difficult to get anywhere near Ayrton. But here comes Tia up towards the chicane. Goes very, very deep. Bricks far too late on those medium tyres. And yeah, that's going to lose him a lot of time. But yeah, it's interesting, the strategy around here, because you can do several things. You can go soft hard, you can go medium hard, you can go soft medium medium, or soft medium soft, but I wouldn't recommend that. As Tia nearly invalidates and then goes very, very deep. I could see that coming a mile off as soon as he turned in. Round 2, the next corner, and invalidates, unfortunately, for the Haas driver. So who is going to be the first one to set a lap? It's not going to be Ugoni. He also invalidated. So who is coming around now? It looks like Rils Taravillo is coming towards the end of the lap, so I think he will be the first one on the timing sheets as he goes very deep into the last corner. So that will have lost him quite a bit of time. I'm not sure what the expected time is around here. I should check. It's 31.1 for the initial pace for Rils Taravillo. Let me check the APP lap records around here to see what laps we're going to be looking at today. Let's see, France 29.2. So yeah, I reckon Pole is going to be around there, maybe a bit faster. Possibly into the 28s from Ayrton. I wouldn't put it past him. Soft, medium, medium, soft, possible, but very risky. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible as Avi goes into P1 with a 29.9. Not too bad a lap at all. I think medium hard better. I'm partial to soft hard on this track. I quite like that strategy. I think soft hard works really well, but medium hard can work. Soft medium is possible, but I don't like it. I think the tyres are just too awful by the end. You need a safety car, and safety cars are few and far between on this track, so yeah, it's going to be tricky. And there's a lot of different things that can be done. Here's H. Geno. He's invalidated his lap, but he's in the Ferrari today. He was leading Tier 2 until the 2 ESRL tiers merged 2 races in. So he's come back into well, what is the only tier now. But he unfortunately couldn't make it to Zandvoort either, so he's dropped points there, but he's still sitting in P5 because his tier 2 points carried over when the merge happened. When he comes through Sector 1, that looked pretty clean and tidy from the Ferrari, who's got a default helmet, which is a sight to behold. I haven't seen one of them in a while. Obviously doesn't care too much for the customization options in F1 2021 as he goes purple in Sector 1, so not bad at all from H. Geno. What can you do through... What can Can't speak. What can he do through Sector 2 is what I'm trying to say. As he comes up to the chicane, brake just about sort of at 75, I reckon, for that corner, if I remember rightly. He's gone very deep, though, through turn number 9. So that's going to cost him some time. Are people in Tier 1 also in Elite? You mean in APP F1? A few people are. But Elite, the Elite League is made up of mainly different drivers, because people who race with assists usually don't turn their assists off. So, but anyway, Ugoni is into P2. Zuba is up into P3 for now with a 31.1, but I'm sure those times are going to get faster. Here comes H. Geno up to the final corner. He maybe goes a bit too conservatively around there. He could have put a little bit more pace on through there. As he comes over, it is a 30.2, so it's not a bad lap at all from the Ferrari. Puts him into P2. Who else is about to cross the line? Looks like Hoots Too Much. Here he comes. It's a 32.2. I'm not sure if he missed an O off 2 and it's meant to be Hoots Too Much, but I'm going to say his username like it is. I'm going to give him the Hoots Too Much treatment. Just to emphasize it if it is a typo. Ace versus Kings. He's on a lap as well in the Mercedes. When he comes through sector number 3, sorry, onto this really long sweeping right-hander that is turn number 11. And now round to here, you've got to avoid the curb at turn 13. Or was it turn 12? I think it's turn 12. Because that curb on the inside is brutal as he comes around now to the last few corners. Looks pretty clean and tidy from Aces, but you can see, look at the clock, he's very off the pace, so he must have made a mistake at some point on his lap. We've got Plevs, currently P2 in the championship. He's on a lap, so got to keep an eye on him. Aces does, yeah, he goes into P10, so clearly made a mistake on that lap to be 6 seconds off the pace. Is it possible to merge Tier 1 and 2 in APP, or is it too big? Probably too big, mate. It's probably too big. And it would result in a lot of drivers missing out on driving, which is not really what we want to do. I think we'd rather find new drivers at this point in time. But we're probably going to merge them in terms of assists for next season, though. But anyway, Plevs coming round Sector 3 now, this long sweeping right-hander again. You've got to really find the right places. There's so many lines you can take through that corner. This corner as well, there's a lot of different lines you can take. Plevs takes the more conventional one from outside to in, but you can also go from the middle of the track to the inside, and you actually don't really lose very much. But Plevs is into the pit, so clearly he's not very happy with that lap. And you can see why by the clock. He would have been quite far off the pace, so he's going to be going out again. Ayrton's still in the pits, so obviously he's trying to give everyone else a chance. Here comes Tier. Can he get his first lap on the board? We'll have to wait and see. As he comes through the last few corners now. Currently Avi still on top with a 29.9, but I'm sure that'll get faster. Speed Alcoholic has retired from the session. That's huge news. The man who was tipped for pole position, or at least front row today, is going to be at the back of the grid as Tier goes into P10 for now with a 33.0. But that's massive news for not only this race, but the championship as a whole. Speed Alcoholic, one of the faster drivers in ESRL for sure. Someone who can maybe challenge Ayrton on his day, but not today. He's going to be at the back of the grid and having to fight his way all the way up. Let's keep an eye on Avi, who's coming up to the line now. Is he faster? He's getting a tow, but he's not faster. 5/500ths of a second slower than his previous lap, as Wills Taravillo goes into P4 on the mediums, a 30.978. So it looks like the pace is fairly sort of hovering around those early 30s and into the high 29s, but I'm sure Ayrton will come out and try and do it at 29.5 on mediums. Like, please do quote me on that. If it happens, I'm going to look like a genius. Spun there before. Yeah, so have I, mate. So have I. Very easy place to go. But still, you don't expect Speed Alcoholic to retire in qualifying without setting a lap. That's a shocking result for him, and I'm sure he's going to be absolutely kicking himself. Major de Sola, is he on a lap? The German in the Alfa Romeo, he's on the mediums at the moment, so it looks like he's going to commit to that strategy. As who's that? Who's gone into P8? I think it was it ESRL? No, it was Myra 2705, who I haven't seen before. I don't know if they're a tier 2 driver or if they're a reserve today, but decent showing from the Aston Martin into P4 with a 30.7. Ugoni is a 10th up though, so keep an eye on him. He's a 10th up through Sector 2. As he comes into Sector 3, he's got to really nail this long right-hander, and he does very good on the exit. Comes around to here, again, the conventional line through turn 11. And now coming up to the last few corners on the track. Again, this is another corner where you can take so many different lines, and none of them are wrong. There's a lot of corners like that on this track, which makes it quite interesting, actually. To watch in qualifying, but here comes Ugoni to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 30.0, 2.5 tenths he gains, but he's half a tenth off Avi84, who still sits in pole position for now. Major de Sola, he's not on a lap at the moment. Eat Apple is 2.5 tenths up though, so what can he do? Oh no, never mind. Oh no, he is on a lap, just didn't look like it. As he comes up to the line now. What's it going to be? It's a 30.5. He beats his previous time by nearly 7 tenths of a second. And goes up onto the second row. I think I've crashed in almost every single quali so far in Tier 2. Have you? Did you crash in Singapore qualifying? Because I remember you did really well there. Speedo, my controller switched off. Oh, not again! No! Oh man, you hate to see it. You actually hate to see it. I think your controller just hates you. But Ayrton is out on track, the final boss of ESRL, as he's proving himself to be at this rate. He's on the mediums. I'm sure he's going to go into pole. What I said earlier, I said he'll do a 29.5 and go into pole on the mediums. That's what I said. If that happens, I'm going to look like a genius. Who was that went into P11? I think it was Wumax. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. I'm not sure who just improved, but Wumax is on a lap. That was very wide, though, through turn number 12, or turn number 13, and indeed, I think he's backing off. He is. He's coming into the pits, so Wumax will not be improving before the end of the session. Amir, though, is 5 tenths up. He's onto the softs. He did his previous lap on the mediums, so he's decided to switch strategies at the end here. Major de Sola looks like he's committed to the mediums, but can Amir knock Avi off his perch? Here he comes through the final sector now. A little bit maybe tentative. And through there it's very deep as well through turn number 12. Ayrton is in a different league, yeah. He is in a different league at the moment. No one else in ESRL is capable of catching him. But here comes Amir across the line. What's it going to be? It's a 29.8. He goes into pole position. The reigning champion in the Red Bull beats his teammate to pole by just over a tenth for now. But here comes NER Ayrton. What can he do? As he goes a bit deep, actually, through turn 5. But round he comes. Obviously, you can't really tell. There's nothing to compare with. So you can't tell if he's on the pace or not. Rick, start from the back. Let me go for a fight through the field. Well, I wish you luck. And you, Speed. Hopefully your controller behaves. But here comes Ayrton. That looked very good as Plevs goes into P1, takes pole position off the reigning champion by 0.3 of a second. The Alpine into provisional pole on those softs. Can Ayrton beat him on the mediums? I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't. Here he comes now, up towards Sector 3, the final part of the track. He takes a sort of a more middling line, the one I was talking about earlier, as he comes into the corner. And now, for the final few corners, maybe a little bit deep there, and maybe a little conservative around the final corner. Is this going to be enough for provisional pole? Not quite. 30.1 on the medium, so he goes into P5 in the Alpha Tauri. And maybe, just maybe, people might be able to compete with NER Ayrton today. It depends how much time you lose on those mediums. It's really unclear. But it's, I mean, if it's around a second, then he is going to be very much on top. But we'll have to see how it pans out. H. Geno is up on his lap as well in the Ferrari. Around he comes towards Sector 3. What can he do? The Tier 2 leader before the two tiers were merged. And he comes through the long sweeping right-hander. Gets that pretty well from the looks of the overhead cam. Did 130.8 on the mediums if you want a reference. Oh, okay, never mind then. Alright, GG then. We'll see. But here comes H. Geno, he goes for a spin maybe, but he does invalidate. Manages to save the car but invalidates his lap, so he's going to be P6 at best. Is Avi on a lap? No, he's not. Plevs is not on a lap either. The only person who can beat them maybe is Ed Apple. He's 0.6 up at the moment. That can't be right. No, that's not right. Okay, he's not made it to Sector 1 yet, so we'll have to watch Ed Apple. I think he's the only one really capable of getting into that top spot. Maybe Rils Taravillo as well. Keep an eye on him. And Ed Apple is indeed 3.5 up through Sector 1. So it depends if he can improve through Sector 2 as well. He's getting a distant tow off the Alpine for a little bit. But how much will that have helped him? Not much, I wouldn't have thought. Maybe a few hundredths at most. Here comes the Haas. In towards Sector 3. He's 3.5 up still, so he hasn't actually gained that much through Sector 2. He's going to have to hope that he nails Sector 3 to get himself anywhere near that front row. Major De Sola decides to go onto the softs for the start of his strategy, and Ed Apple goes very deep into turn 10 as well, so that would have lost him some time, and very deep into turn 11. Doesn't invalidate, lifts off just enough, but it will have cost him some time. Major De Sola. Rils Taravillo goes into P4, so he didn't quite have enough. Does Ed Apple have enough in the Haas? The Dutchman comes up to the line now. What can he do? It's not going to be enough. It's a 30.5. He barely improves in the end, so lost a huge amount of time in Sector 3 with those difficult corners. Zuber is the last one on track, but he's invalidated. So that is your qualifying order. NER Ayrton finds himself in P7 on the mediums, but I don't think he's going to feel too threatened with the pole up only 0.6 in front of him. But it is Plevs on pole position for the French Grand Prix. There's the two Red Bulls in 2 and 3 as well. The Constructors' Championship leaders will be very happy with that. What tyre to start on? What tyre indeed? Yeah, there's not really a correct strategy around this track. There are plenty of wrong ones, but there's not really a correct one, as it were. So yeah, it's a tricky decision for you. But anyway, it is Plevs on pole position. The Australian beats Avi to pole by 2.5 in the Red Bull. Amir, the reigning champion, P3 in the end. Avi did beat him by 0.04 of a second. I think that's the first time they've swapped around in qualifying so far this season. Wills Taravillo, P4, good result for him, with Major De Sola just behind in P5. Ugoni in P6. Look how close all of these times are, by the way. This is going to be great. NER Ayrton, the championship leader. Can he make it 4 wins from 4? He's going to have to do it from P7 today. H. Geno, P8. Patty Pat, P9, with Aces rounding out the top 10. And then Eat Apple has to settle for P11 with Myra, Zuba, Wumax, Rick. I'm going to have to look back at my stream to see the others. I think I got them on screen at least. Hoots Too Much in P16, then Tier 727, Moti Peretz, Scott, and Speed Alcoholic will be starting from the back. So we're about to get underway for the formation lap. Anyone in chat, what's your podium predictions for today? Well, Plevs leads off the field in pole position. I'm going to say Ayrton, followed by Plevs, followed by Major De Sola. That's my prediction today. Well, what's yours? Please tell me in the chat. Predicted pit stop strategy apparently is a soft medium medium or soft soft medium, and I'm not sure about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure about that one. I think it's definitely got to be a one stop today. Well, maybe not definitely, but the two stop just doesn't work around here more often than not. Ayrton, Plevs, Amir is the prediction from Lifebout. I'll put my prediction in chat as well, just so it's immortalized. Ayrton, Plevs, Major. That was my prediction. So around they come the final sector. There's a massive gap between Patty Pat and the top 8 for some reason. Did he have a spin, or is he leaving a massive gap on purpose? The latter, I think, will be looked at by the stewards. But yeah, I'm not sure about that one. But anyway, drivers lining up on the grid now for the start of the French Grand Prix in ESRL. Let me enable all of my stuff. Oh, let's look at tyres quickly. Oh, look at that. Everyone below P10 starting on the mediums. So this is going to be fun. Ayrton as well, the other one on mediums in the top 10, of course. But looks like everyone's looking for a one stop. So we'll have to see what happens. We're about to get underway. Here we go. For the start of the French Grand Prix. 5 red lights and we're off. It was a very quick start. Plevs gets a brilliant start. Avi nowhere near, and Amir gets a much better start than his teammate. Avi loses a position already, could lose another one to Major as well. If we look back behind, they're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Major gets the better drive around turn 2 and takes P3. For now, we've got carnage further back. Lots of drivers side by side getting with each other. Ugoni is another one with H. Geno. Aces versus Kings trying to get involved as well as Ugoni goes into the side of Patty Pat. He's only got himself to blame for that one. I don't know if he has damage, but That was a very, very late break from Ugoni, and yeah, I think he does have damage. H. Geno is about to get past, but let's cut back to the front. Is there anything going on here? Everyone's sort of filing in as NER Ayrton gets past his teammate who I think let him through. So Ayrton up into P5 for now, but nearly makes a little mistake. I don't know if that was a mistake or if he's just swerving, but we've got 3 wide maybe into turn 10. Here comes Ugoni around the outside of Aces. I think the Williams has damage. He's struggling to stay with them. We'll have to see if he comes in the pits at the end of this lap. We've got 3 wide through the long right-hander as well. Eat Apple takes advantage. The Aston Martin behind gets a huge snap of oversteer. But all looking pretty clean so far. Rick trying to make his way through as well. Speed Alcoholic is up 3 positions already, but he's down 2 seconds on the rest of the pack, so he's got a long way to go. Rick brakes late for the final corner. I don't know if that was by design or not, but let's cut back to the front because H. Geno is trying to get past Patty Pat. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? Surely not. He doesn't indeed. Avi trying to get his way past Major Da Solo, who took advantage at the start. Tier is into the pit, so obviously he had damage from the first lap. We've got yellow flags. Is that Speed Alcoholic? It is pushing too much, but maybe to get his way back up the grid, and he's had a spin at turn number 2. And now he's got an even longer way to go as Tier changes his front wing in the pits. Is Avi going to have a go at Major in towards turn 6? Or turn 7 rather. No, he's not. He's going to file behind and wait for the DRS. But H. Geno and Aces versus King side by side. H. Geno takes the corner. Aces can't quite make a move down the inside at the chicane. But now Avi right behind Major. Is he going to be able to make a move into the long right-hander? No, he's not. So he has to stick behind the Alfa Romeo for now. I think he's going to be waiting for DRS. H. Geno still trying to find a way past the Aston Martin of Patty Pat. What's the pit stop prediction? It said soft, medium, hard. Yeah, ignore that. But that will definitely not be happening today. H. Geno still trying to find a way through. He finds it. Patty Pat goes deep, but H. Geno goes too far on the inside of the corner and loses the position again as Plev sets the fastest lap. He's already out of the 1 second range. Is Avi going to make a move on Major into turn 1? No, he's not. He's going to be more sensible than that. What about H. Geno? No, he's going to stick behind as well. Everyone just waiting for the DRS at the moment, I think, as Eat Apple, though, trying to get past Ugoni. He's right behind the Williams. He uses a bit of overtake to catch up, maybe, but decides against going for the move into turn 3. Around they come through sector number 2. Plev's made a huge mistake by the looks of it. Amir has closed up by 5/10 just through there, and now he's going to have the DRS. He turns off his DRS actually in order to not close up too much, but here's the battle to watch. Avi 84 getting past Major Da Solo around the outside, and Ayrton smelling blood as well. He's hungry to get himself up the grid on those medium tyres. Moti Perez with a 3-second time penalty in the meantime. Just going to take a quick drink. I've already run out of water, which is not a good sign. Zuba gets himself past Rick further back. Or past Womax rather, because Womax and Rick both going side by side, as looks like Rick made the move. Aces versus Kings down the inside of Patty Pat through the long right-hander as well. Left plenty of room through the left-hander there, and Patty Pat gets a bit on the curb and has to correct, so loses the position. Ayrton still right behind these guys. Championship leader looking to make it 4 wins from 4 as Ugoni peels into the pits. Maybe he had damage, maybe he's decided enough is enough. We'll have to see. I'm going to change back to the tyre situation on the leaderboard as here comes Ayrton, gets a much better exit than De Sola through turn 2, but can't make the move quite yet. Major using a bit of battery to keep the AlphaTauri behind, and gets a bit squirmy on the exit of turn 4 as well. He's got to be careful. But now he's going to be very vulnerable on the straight. He doesn't have the DRS to Avi anymore. He's really lost out, and he's struggling on those softs. You can see he's oversteering almost every corner, and Ayrton, very easy move into P4. Goes the medium tyre AlphaTauri on a charge back up the grid. H. Geno has got himself past Patty Pat. And now Rils Taravillo is the next car in the sights of the previous Tier 2 championship leader. Zuber round the outside of Rick, it looks like, as I think Rick got a terrible exit out of turn 9. That will have explained what happened there. But is he going to go for the move, Rick? Yes, he is. Down the inside, but goes too deep, and Womack straight back again. They're still side by side, the two of them, but it's going to be Rick who's going to take it. For now, Womack has a little look down the inside, but decides against it in the end. Zugoni also gets past Scott, who might have damage, I think. It's tough to see from that angle. H. Geno trying to get his way past Rils Taravillo side by side with Major De Sola up to turn 1. Maybe Rils has a little look but can't make the move. H. Geno still with them as he gets a much better exit. What a move from H. Geno. Fantastic exit out of turn 2 to get past Rils Taravillo. And the next man in his sights is the Alfa Romeo of Major De Sola. Tier gets himself another time penalty. Meanwhile, as Major also got himself one at turn 2, here comes the Ferrari though. H. Geno, he's going to have the DRS. This should be a very simple move for H. Geno. Down the inside he goes, and it's going to be done before the corner, I suspect. Major with no DRS, nothing to defend with. He is a sitting duck. Rils Taravillo can't quite take advantage as well, but H. Geno up into P5. He is charging his way up the grid. And Ayrton can't quite get himself past Avi yet either on those medium tyres, but those softs are going to start going at some point, and he's going to be waiting for that moment. Rils Taravillo goes very deep into the long right-hander, and Aces sees the gap, goes down the inside, a bit of wheel banging between the two as Rils has the inside line for turn 11. Aces round the outside, still side by side, but it looks like Rils is going to take the position for now. No, Aces is going to go round the outside of the penultimate corner. Can he make it stick? He can, and he has the inside for the final corner. Rils has to leave him room and is forced out to the outside of the corner. Great move from Aces to get himself into P7 as Ayrton now gets himself past Avi finally, and he's going to be looking to charge up towards the top 2 now. 3.4 seconds is the gap. It's not very far away at all. Womack and Rick still battling. Womack's back up into P11 for now, but is Rick going to get the better exit? Yes, he is, but he's not going to be able to take advantage. Womack covers him off. Here comes the McLaren once again, but has to back off in the end. He can see the flashing red light, though. He knows Womack is low on the old battery life. He's going to be looking to make his way through at the next DRS straight. Talking of DRS, here comes Patty Pat down the inside of Aces versus Kings, who's not going to have much to say about that, is he? Tries to have a look round the outside, but it's not going to make it stick, and he has contact with Rils Taravillo behind, and ghosting is off. Ian Apple goes into them as well, and that's all 3 cars having to tear. Oh no, 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 it's all gone wrong. Ian Apple comes back onto the track really dangerously, and Aces hits him, and then another car, Womack, gets caught up in it. It's a disaster in ESRL at turn number 7, I think that was. That's such a shame. Womack is going to have to peel into the pits. He's going to hope for a safety car. Hoots to Much gets his way through. But oh, what a shame. You don't want to see that. You do not want to see that at all, as Major decides enough is enough. He's into the pits for a set of, well, we'll have to wait and see, as Ayrton now sets the fastest laps of those mediums coming into their own. He's really catching those top 2 very, very fast. Ace versus Kings also loses out in that. Eat Apple as well, but I think he's only got himself to blame. Major into the pits. What tyres is he going on? We'll have to wait and see, but Zuber down the inside of Rick, meanwhile, through turn 1 and 2. They're still side by side. Is Rick going to get the better drive? He is. Zuber nearly spins, but manages to hold it together, but loses the position in the end. But Rick lets him back through. Maybe Rick felt that his overtake wasn't fair, but Ed Rappel has taken advantage and also gotten past the McLaren. So some sportsmanship maybe from Rick has backfired, as he now goes down the inside of Ed Apple, who's forced off the track a little bit. They're still side by side. Ed Apple has to take to the inside and gets himself a track limits warning as Rick takes the position back, but look at the time they've lost to Zuber in the meantime. Major De Sola onto another set of the soft tyres, so he's going for the 2-stop Womack's onto the hards though, so he's going to go to the end as Rick gets a huge moment out of... I've got to make sure I know what turn that is. Okay, that's turn 9. Okay, so they're coming into turn 10 now. This is turn 10. And then the long right-hander is turn 11. Okay. I will not get that wrong anymore. Plevs into the pits, Amir into the pits, so Ayrton's going to take the lead of this race. Moti Perez gets himself another 3-second time penalty. H. Geno also into the pits in the Ferrari. So what tyres are they going to go on? Are they going to go the hards? Yes, they are. Plevs onto the hard tyres. Amir onto the hards as well. H. Geno onto the soft, so he's... No, he hasn't pitted yet. Here he comes. It's onto the mediums. No, it's the hards. It is the hards. Thought they were yellow walls for a second. H. Geno onto the hard, so he'll be going to the end as well. I think this is a good strategy. I think the soft hard is the optimal strategy if you're starting on softs. If you're starting on mediums, it's obviously medium hard, but which one is faster is very unclear. I don't know personally. But Zuber on the back of Rick, who's got himself back past the Alpine. We didn't see that. We were too concentrated on the guys in the pits. But Zuber looking to get himself what will be onto the podium positions here in the Alpine, but Apple is just behind as well, looking to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong. Major de Sola right behind Hoots Too Much as well. The two Alfa Romeo teammates are going to go side by side here. Is there any love lost between the teammates? Yes, there is actually, because Hoots Too Much lets his teammate through. He knows he's not in his race. He's not going to hold up his fellow Alfa Romeo any more than is necessary. Apple and get his way through. Rick goes very deep through turn number 10, now into turn 11, and he gets a 3-second time penalty. Goes far too deep, and that's one warning too many for the McLaren, so he's going to have to carry that 3-second burden. Goes very deep there as well, so Rick's struggling at the moment to keep it on the track. Avi is into the pits as well. I'm sure he's going to go on the hard tyres and follow his teammate on the same strategy. Apple, Zuber and Rick still battling these three. Is there any way through for Apple on Zuber? Is there any way through for Zuber on Rick? Up towards turn 1. Look at the pace difference. Down the inside he goes. They're still going to be side by side as he comes through turn 2. Rick's going to get the better exit. Is he? Yes, he is. Zuber has to follow on behind, but Plevs comes out right behind these three, out of the pits. He's on the hard tyres, so he's going to be looking to get involved as well, the former race leader. Down the inside he goes of Apple already. He's already looking to make the moves, Plevs. He doesn't want to be stuck behind these guys for too long. They're side by side. Don't crash, guys. They're around the outside goes Plevs, and he still manages to hold the position, and he's going to get the move done on Apple, I think. But meanwhile, Rick and Zuber side by side. Apple looking for a way through Plevs, but Plevs just too late on the brakes for him. And there's another 2 cars to go for the Alpine, but I'm sure he'll be looking to clear them as soon as he can. He's going to have his teammate as well to get past, so I don't think Zuber's going to put up too much of a fight, and I'm sure he'll let his teammate through here. Maybe not, actually. They're still side by side, but finally Plevs is through, and is he going to get past Rick in one go as well? Yes, he is, because Rick is going to go very deep yet again at the same corner, but they're still side by side. Plevs is going to get the much better exit though, and he should get the McLaren here. No, he's not. Rick just stays off the track to keep the position, which I'm sure Plevs won't be too happy about. But he hasn't lost too much time in this train. He's mainly just been getting past on the straights, and I'm sure this is going to be another of that same situation. Round the outside he goes of the McLaren as they come up towards turn 1, and Rick follows in behind. No battling to be done there. Plevs up into P2. 22 seconds is the gap to Ayrton. Can he hold it? As Apple down the inside of Zuber, meanwhile, into turn 3. Zuber's still going to be side by side. They've got Amir as well, and Major on the soft tyres, so Major's going to really lose out if he gets held up too much by these guys. Amir on the hards as well. He needs to get through. There's so many cars that have to get through traffic here as Major gets himself another 3-second time penalty. I'm pretty sure that's the second one. Are they going to be 3 wide into turn 8? They're going to try. Here there goes Major De Sola down the inside of everyone. Goes the Alfa Romeo, still side by side with the Apple on the exit, but he manages to make the move. That was 2 cars in one corner for Major, and it's going to be a third as Zuber gets a poor exit and Major into P4 on those soft tyres, trying to take advantage. And Amir also through, but he's still side by side with the Haas. He's not going to let it go too easily. Avi as well trying to get through. There's so many cars on different strategies in traffic, but it's all very clean so far, which is good to see. Here comes Avi as well. He's going to have to get through Eat Apple on the next DRS straight, I would imagine. Zuber's trying to follow on behind, and H. Geno isn't too far behind either, so they're going to be conscious of the Ferrari catching up if they spend too long in that traffic. Oh, I'm getting thirsty. I'm talking too much. Tier's got himself a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. Moti Peretz is a minute behind P19, so he is having an absolute nightmare, unfortunately for him. Avi still behind Eat Apple. He can't make it through the Red Bull, and look at this, they're losing time to H. Geno. That was 2.2 seconds last time I saw. It's now down to 1.5. Here comes the Ferrari. He's trying to take advantage. Speed Alcoholic out of the pits as well. I don't know if there's a problem. I think that's Ugoni going slowly, is it? Yes, it is. He's had a spin, unfortunately, for the Williams, and takes out the sign as he goes past. Amir now on the hunt for Major De Sola. Those softs not really serving Major as well as he would have thought. He's not really gaining anything on the Red Bull, on the hards behind him. The hards, this is one of the few tracks actually on this game where the hards are decent. They do feel okay on the track. Yeah, they're a decent tyre on this track, so Major's maybe a bit shocked by how good they actually are. And he's committed to the 2-stop. I'm not sure it's going to work out for him though. Those guys on the hards are just going to be so much faster. And Avi finally getting past Eat Apple after the Haas gets a poor exit at the final corner. So the Red Bull looking to make his way back up as H. Geno now is on the back of this train. He's 7/10 behind Zuber, so he's going to be looking to get involved as well. Maybe he can get himself on the podium in this merged ESRL tournament. As Aces versus Kings has a crash, it looks like with his teammate at the penultimate corner. Aces is out of the race, unfortunately, and there is our safety car, and that is massive news for NER Ayrton. He's going to go onto the hards and still be in the lead. That is some MX luck for the Alpha Tauri. And yeah, he's going to be very, very happy to see that. And yeah, well, once they all settle down, I'm going to take that opportunity to go and get myself another glass of water. But this is also good for Major De Sola. He's going to be able to pit under the safety car and not lose as much as he would otherwise. So that 2-stop could still work out for him, but only because of the safety car. Ayrton into the pits. What tyres is he going to go on? Is it going to be the hards? Is it going to be the softs? What's he going to do? Championship leader into the pits for the hard tyre. He's going to the end. Sensible decision from the AlphaTauri, and he's going to come out still in the lead of this race. As Plevs also comes into the pits, so he's obviously trying to do something different to the AlphaTauri. Is he going to go on the mediums? I think that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's going on the mediums to the end of the race. So he's decided, you know what, I'm not going to beat Ayrton if we're both on the same strategy, so I'm going to try something different and see if it works. But now he's going to have the car of Avi in between the two, also on the hards, who stayed out. He's sticking to his strategy, going for the hard tyre. So is it going to work out for him? Rick says Rick's not happy with something. Not quite sure what, but he's come out in P4, just behind the Ferrari of Moti Peretz, who is not going to be ghosted. Be careful, Rick. Speed Alcoholic has also retired from the session in the pit lane, so he's not happy. I'm just going to take a quick drinks break, and I'm going to write that in chat so anyone who comes in is going to know. I'm back, and my throat is no longer dying of thirst. Stay hydrated, kids. We are under the safety car. We could be waiting a while because you can see Scott and Tier only at turn 3 on the track, so we could be waiting quite a while for them to catch back up. So I've got time to talk to whoever's in chat. Well, there's only 2 of you. How's it going? How are you enjoying the race? Any changes in your predictions? We've got Ayrton, obviously in P1 at the moment. That safety car was perfect for him. But Avi is sort of the dark horse, the unknown in this equation. He's on the hard tyres. He's still going to the end. He's stuck to his strategy. So he's going to be hoping to keep the cars behind. Well, behind. Rick P4 says life power. Yeah, he certainly is. But what's the penalty situation? Detail penalties. He's got 8 seconds. He sped in the pit lane. That must have been his outburst in the chat. Ugoni is retired from the session. How has he managed that? How has he managed that? That looks like at the last corner. Is that a retirement on track? Stewards might be having a bit of a look at that. If so, I can't see his car. It was there, so yeah, not quite sure what happened there. But Ugoni is out of the race, and that's another 0-point day for the Williams driver, unfortunately. Back to tyres. Yeah, 8 seconds. So 3 for track limits and 5 for pit lane speeding. And now Rick is down to P14, so he's pit again for the hards. He's going to go right to the back. He's got rid of the penalty at least, but yeah, right to the back he goes. Or has he pit again? What's happened to Rick? What is happening here? Is there an issue for Rick? What's going on? 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Something strange is going on here. No idea what's happening to Rick, but something unfortunate has befallen the McLaren driver. I'm going to be out for one more lap under the safety car. I think Scott and Tia are going to catch up just in time. Major showing us a bit of a drift on the commentary stream. Maybe he knows he's being watched. Rick comes into the pits. I'm sure he's going to go onto the mediums now to the end of the race. He's getting every penalty under the sun. He is, yeah. But, everything's calmed down now under the safety car. Rick with an ellipsis in the chat. What's happened, mate? Well, you can't tell me. You're only in the pit lane. The fuck? Something's happened. I'm sure he'll DM me about it after the race. Because I'm not sure what's happened to him. But clearly he feels like he has been hard done by the old Codemasters. Oh, he's spun. Oh, Rick. Well, he's onto the hards. The hards, the mediums. So hopefully he can maybe make a charge back up the grid. What is essentially last place, Moti Perez a lap down. So the only way is up, Rick, unless of course you meet the wall. But touch wood, that won't happen. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to get back to green flag racing very shortly. Is Avi going to be able to keep up with Ayrton? Is Plevs going to get past in time to try and make sure he doesn't lose too much time to the AlphaTauri? Remains to be seen. Avi is sort of the unknown, as I said earlier. The car between the two championship protagonists. And Ayrton. None of the three with any penalties either. But Major De Sola does have himself, I think, 6 seconds. As Ayrton has already gone, he's completely caught in Avi sleeping, and he's done it again. He always does this. NER Ayrton, every single safety car restart he catches the entire grid sleeping, and 1.5 seconds is the gap already. Plevs is going to be absolutely furious that he's lost so much time to the AlphaTauri already. But the fact of the matter is, Avi was absolutely sold at that restart. Here comes Plevs. Is he going to make a move into turn 3? Surely not. No, he's gonna leave it and wait for a mistake from Avi. There is one. Maybe Plevs can take advantage. He goes for the switcheroo. What a move from the Alpine. Down the inside he goes. Avi with nothing to say to that. And Plevs back on the charge, trying to keep up with Ayrton. 2.2 seconds is the gap. Avi is going to be under pressure from Major as well. Scott has retired from the session, it looks like, at turn number 5. It's not going to be a safety car, I don't think. But H. Geno gets himself past Zuber down the inside at turn 8. And keeps the position through turn 9 as well. Good move from the Ferrari as he makes his way up. So it's the battle of the hards versus the mediums at the moment. Which is better? It's really unclear. The mediums are going to be bad by the end, but the hards are really not good in comparison at the moment. Clearly, I mean, you can see even Ayrton is losing time to Plevs with the different tyres strategy. So it's difficult to tell. It really is, but we're only going to find out by the end of the race, and there's still 11 laps to go. So who knows, as Ayrton crosses the line to start lap number 17 and sets the fastest lap in the process, but Plevs follows him with a 32.9, and 1.7 is now the gap. We've got to keep an eye on that. We've also got to keep an eye on the battles happening across the grid. Major and Avi is one of them, and Zuber and H. Geno is another. Zuber trying to keep up desperately with the medium tyres, but you can see that's really struggling. He's really struggling to do so. Wills Taravillo as well, trying to get his way past Patty Pat in the Aston Martin, who had an outrageously good result in the Netherlands. As Amir is that Major De Sola with a spin? It is. Major De Sola has a spin at turn 6. And he's all the way down the grid, down to P11 now, and he could go down to P12, yet he is going to Womack's down the inside. And Major De Sola has thrown away what was looking to be a decent race. And he does lose the position to Womack's in the end. So he's on a recovery drive now. Eat Apple just behind Amir as well. That Haas looking to make his way through the Red Bull, who is struggling on those mediums actually. Amir, he's not closing up at all to his teammate. 2.8 seconds, and it's only growing. So Amir really not liking those mediums at the moment, in complete contrast to Plevs, who is slowly catching Ayrton, but maybe that gap's starting to go up again now as Moti Perez gets himself a 3-second time penalty. But here comes H. Geno. Womack is into the pits, so must have taken damage from something. H. Geno is gonna just stay back for now. DRS now enabled, so we're going to see some overtakes in towards turn 8. Wills Taravillo still behind Patty Pat. He's losing time to the cars ahead. Gonna have to get through as soon as possible to help out his AlphaTauri teammate in the championship with as many points as possible. Because if Ayrton is indeed going to win this race, he needs Rils to step up if they're going to beat Red Bull to the Constructors, because Red Bull are just looking so consistent at the moment, as Hoots to Much is the second driver to go for a spin after this safety car restart, and it's pretty much the exact same place. But anyway, H. Geno down the inside of Eat Apple, very simple move. Similarly, Rils Taravillo before the corner gets past Patty Pat, and Myra and Major going side by side now, the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo, as Major nearly goes for a spin, manages to hold the car, but he's now got Rick for company down the next straight. But he's going to hold off the McLaren for now, is he? Rick has a look to the inside, but he's way too far back. Zuber gets himself a 3-second time penalty as Eat Apple tries to stay with the Ferrari of H. Geno, who's running really well and trying to get his way up into the top 4 now. He's into P5 for the moment, and that gap to Ayrton, between Plevs and Ayrton, is going back up again. So I think the moment has passed for Plevs. Avi getting caught out at the safety car restart has really doomed Plevs to not be able to fight with Ayrton, but here comes Rils Taravillo around the outside, and Rick DNFs. He's retired in the pits. Okay, so he's had enough, unfortunately. Rils Taravillo down the inside as Avi's had a spin. Just as I was singing his praises, he's had a spin, and now Rils Taravillo just about avoids him as they come through turn 2. That was very, very close to a tragic accident for the 4 of them. It would have been. It really would have been a huge accident. But Zuber now trying to get his way past Patty Pat, who's found himself on the receiving end of more attacks, but he could be attacking Rils Taravillo himself. Down the inside goes the Aston Martin into turn 8. They get side by side, but Rils Taravillo beats him on the brakes by quite some distance and manages to keep P number 6. My controller switched off, and Aces and you crashed. Oh no, it's the controller again. Yeah, buy yourself a new one, mate. You deserve it. Get yourself a new one, and get yourself back on track without all of this controller nonsense. Because it's really it's such a shame to see you DNF from so many races just because your controller is playing up. So get yourself a new one, mate. Rick, talk us through it, mate. What happened? But these 4 still at it. Avi now on the back of them after his spin. He's trying to recover, as well as Myra and Major De Sola as well. All of them in this train. It is currently the Rils Taravillo train to P6. Moti Perez is going to be happy with all these DNFs. He's making up positions despite being a lap down. But now H. Geno looking to get himself onto the podium. Avi's spin has really helped him out, and just as I was singing the praise of the Red Bulls being so consistent, Avi has a spin, and suddenly the AlphaTauris are back in the driving seat in terms of the constructors. H. Geno not quite close enough to Amir to make a move yet, but the Ferrari is looking very fast on those mediums, and he's looking to get himself a podium. He was, of course, the Tier 2 leader of the championship by quite some distance. He won the first 2 races in Tier 2, and then the ESRL tiers merged together, and now he finds himself in, well, what is basically Tier 1, but is the only tier. And he's holding his own. He's doing very well, proving that he could have been racing with these Tier 1 guys. He's looking for a podium if he can take it off Amir here. The reigning champion, what a story that would be as well. We've got yellow flags again. Is that Tier? It is Tier who's had a spin, unfortunately, at turn 10. It's still the Rils Taravillo train, but now it's sort of Patty Pat is losing too much time, and Zuber is losing time to the Aston Martin as well. So now it's become the Zuber train for P8, with Major De Sola trying to get his way past Myra. He's not going to make a move into turn 1. He's just going to make Myra think. Speeding pen, got a penalty for the same thing that happened to AP and Koru in Britain Tier 1. England damage because of why, had to pick 5 unfair warnings and quit. Yeah, that sounds pretty garbage, mate, I'm not going to lie. Major gets himself another 3-second time penalty. I think that's 9 seconds for Major now. He's really struggling with track limits. around France, which you don't usually see from Major. He's usually pretty good with track limits, so he's really struggling today. Uses a bit too much overtake towards turn 7 and goes wide as a result. Is he going to try and make a move on the Aston Martin? He has a look. He makes the Aston Martin think. But meanwhile, up in front, Avi goes down the inside of Zuber and makes the move on the Alpine. Takes himself into P8. And now Myra's looking to take advantage around the outside of the Alpine. Zuber struggling to stay with them. And now Myra down the inside of Avi as well. What a brilliant exit he got there. 3 wide into turn 9. Zuber loses out down the inside. There's contact between Myra and Avi, and Major gets his way through Zuber in the meantime and brakes far too late as well into turn 12 and just about avoids contact. It's carnage down here in the race for P8. Myra, Major, Zuber and Avi all going at it, and now Myra down the inside of Avi, who brakes too early, and Zuber's gone. No, it's down to a battle between 3 drivers as Zuber has a spin, a bit of contact with Avi in the penultimate corner, and he is round. And my voice is really struggling now. Major trying to stay with Avi, who's losing time to Myra, who's trying to get their way up the grid, maybe catch up to their teammate Pat as H. Geno goes down the inside of Amir. It's done before the corner by the looks of it, so a simple DRS pass for the Ferrari. But is Amir going to be able to fight back? The reigning champion, remember, you never underestimate the heart of a champion. The Red Bull wants this podium as much as anyone, but H. Geno, he really wants to prove himself in this merged ESRL tier, and he is doing just that at the moment, running very well in P3 with 6 laps to go. This train as well still going between these 3, Myra, Avi and Major. Zuber is 6.5 seconds down the road after the contact earlier on. Oh, Rick, I feel for you, man. I feel for you. All I'd say is just, I mean, if you're not making the mistakes, then, you know, I think as well, one thing is that if you make a mistake, it breeds more mistakes. And if something goes wrong, that also breeds mistakes, because it gets in your head. And I think, yes, you have some bad luck a lot of the time, don't get me wrong, but I think there's, you know, it's sort of a mentality thing as well. It does get in your head. So you know, just keep your head up and stay on the track and keep it going. But anyway, Avi just behind Myra, maybe trying to make a move into turn 8, but deciding against it in the end. Major de Sola also looking to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong, but those 9 seconds of penalties, I'm pretty sure it's 9 seconds. It's 12 seconds actually, he got another one, but down the inside he goes of Avi. Regardless, there's a little bit of wheel banging as they come through, but no spins luckily. Myra is really enjoying this because it means that they can really make advantage as Major and Avi come together. It's a disaster for both of them as they spin once again. Zuber is catching up, but he's not going to be able to catch up enough as Major, with 12 seconds of penalties, has contact with Avi. I think the stewards might be having a look at that one. Amir and H. Geno is the closest battle on track. Plevs just can't keep up with Ayrton, but who can, to be honest? But yeah, Amir trying to get himself back onto the podium, but he's struggling to keep up with the Ferrari. The only reason he's still with him is because of the DRS, but look at that, 9 tenths. It was 7 tenths at the start of this lap, so just those small margins are hurting Amir at the moment, and he's not able to stay with the Ferrari enough. And sooner or later, he's going to be out of that DRS range and completely out of the fight for a podium. So can he stick with the Ferrari is the question. He's going to need to find some pace, get some pace in that champion's locker of his from somewhere to try and get this podium back. I thought that was H. Jenner with the time penalty then, but no, it was his teammate Moti Peretz. And then we do have a yellow flag. That is Moti Peretz, just as I was talking about him, into the wall at turn 9. But he's still going. He's still going. As long as he gets to the end, he will get some points from this race. But it has been, I mean, what can only be described as a complete nightmare for the Israeli. And you've got a feel for him. He's just been driving alone for this whole race. But credit to him for staying in the game, keeping his head up, just getting to the end of the race, trying to enjoy what's left. Yeah, Amir, he's going to have the DRS, so he is still within range. But has he turned it off? He's turned it off. What's he doing? Oh, he didn't realise. I think he didn't realise. I think he pressed the button twice by accident, or maybe just didn't press it at all. And that's lost him at least 2 or 3 tenths down that straight. So he's going to be annoyed with himself that he forgot to turn his DRS on. But he has stayed with the Ferrari for now. 5 tenths is the gap. They're both on the mediums, so there's no strategy difference between them. It's just about driver skill now. With Eat Apple closing them down on the hard tyres maybe as well. And Rils Taravillo not too far behind him. So if anything happens, these two are ready to pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, Patty Pat is going well in P7 as well. Myra is in P8 on their debut race. Not too bad at all, but and I mean, has taken advantage of people making mistakes, so absolutely fair enough, and had a decent qualifying as well. So as long as you get to the end, Myra, as long as I haven't just cursed you, consider this a successful debut, if this is your debut and I haven't just missed you previously. Patty Pat gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, what's the penalty situation looking like? Patty Pat on 3, Myra also on 3, Major on 12, Zuba 6, but not going to lose any positions from that at the moment. Although actually he might lose positions technically, because he's not going to be far enough ahead of Major, maybe. But I mean, he is at the moment, but we'll have to see. There's still 2 laps to go. Tier on 12, Moti Peretz on 21 only. He's had a terrible day. He's had a horrible day in that Ferrari. Hoots too much, sort of just sticking with, trying to stick with the pack in P14. As Tier goes for another spin by the looks of it. Oh no, he's into the pits, so Tier's going to go onto the softs to the end of the race with 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, Ayrton very, very easily in front. He's got 10% battery. What's the fastest lap? It belongs to Plevs, so Plevs is going to get the extra point for fastest lap at least. But yeah, the day belongs to Ayrton. He's going to make it 4 wins from 4 at the French Grand Prix, and it's looked very, very comfortable. Yes, he got lucky with the safety car, but ever since then, I mean, he completely caught Avi napping at the safety car restart once again, and he's now leading by 6.5 seconds. But there are 2 battles going on. There's one for P5 and one for the last spot on the podium. It's Amir versus H. Geno, as Plevs gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It's not going to matter though. So it's not really of any consequence, but here we go. Onto the DRS straight. Here comes Amir. H. Geno has got just enough battery to fend him off for now, but the Red Bull is going to be trying to make it through at any cost. It's for the final podium position. Here they go. H. Geno goes deep. So here comes Amir. He's going to get a much better exit out of turn 9, but he just is too hesitant on the throttle. Meanwhile, Rils Taravillo and Eat Apple side by side. Rils trying to make it through around the outside. Can't quite get the move done, but they're going to be side by side into turn 10. I've got to switch back to the battle for the podium though, because here comes Amir down the inside of H. Geno on the final lap. The battle for P3, and he's done it. The Red Bull. H. Geno's going to come back at him though, up towards turn 11, but it's not going to be enough for now. Turn 12, sorry, but he's going to get a poor exit, Amir. Here comes H-Geno again. Ayrton wins the race, well done to him, but we've got to concentrate on this battle for the podium. H-Geno is going to have the DRS up to the line. He gets the better exit out the final corner. Here he comes. The Ferrari is going to get the podium. It's a drag race to the line, and Geno's done enough. He takes P3 from Amir. Wow, what a battle between those two for the podium on the final lap. Absolutely fantastic. Wills Taravillo gets himself into P5. He does beat Eat Apple to the line eventually. Patty Pat P7, good result for him. Myra P8. Avi in P9. Major's going to drop to P11 in the end, out of the top 10 for the Alfa Romeo. Zuba P10. Oh yeah, Lifebout, your prediction. Oh man, H-Geno ruins Lifebout's prediction at the final corner. Womack's, I mean, he crashes after the finish line, so not too bad. Hoots too much, just cruising over to the finish line. He's taking his time on a Sunday drive, it seems. Moti Peretz looks like he's doing the same. Fair enough to them. Just enjoy their last moments on the track. But what a battle between H-Geno and Amir, the reigning champion, beaten to the line in a drag race after a fantastic performance from H-Geno. Hoots too much coming across the line now. But what a race between those two. Absolutely fantastic battle. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Moti Peretz does come across the line. He does get some points on the board. It has been a miserable day for him, but he'll be happy to at least have points on the board at the end of that one. But, wow. Wow, wow, wow. But what a drive from Ayrton once again. The Dane reigns supreme over ESRL. That's 4 wins from 4 in Season 2, and he is looking absolutely unstoppable. Plevs, good drive from the Australian as well in P2, but he just doesn't have enough to beat Ayrton at the moment. And P3 goes to the flying H-Geno after that absolutely incredible battle with the reigning champion in the Red Bull of Amir. Great, great stuff from the two of them. Amir in P4, as I said. Plevs also gets the fastest lap, so an extra point for him by just under 200th of a second from Ayrton. That was very, very close. Amir in P4. Wills Taravillo takes a good P5 for AlphaTauri, so AlphaTauri huge gains in the constructors after today's race. Eat Apple in P6, Patty Pat P7 in the end. Myra P8, a good debut for the Finn. I think it was a debut. If I've missed you, I'm so sorry. Avi P4, P9, P4, P9, Zuba P10 finishes out the top 10. Major drops to P11 on penalties. Womack's P12. Hoots too much P13. Tier manages to cross the line in P14, and Moti Peretz just about gets to the end in P15. And Rick, Scott, Ugoni, and the two Mercedes of Speed and Aces, unfortunately unable to finish the race today. You can have it, Harris. I'm not a champagne drinker. Not an alcohol drinker in general. But anyway, that was fantastic race to commentate on, especially the end. That was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant to watch. But thank you to everyone for watching today. And thank you to all our drivers for putting on a great show. And yeah, I don't really think I have much more to say. Can anyone catch Ayrton? But that will be that. I will see you all for the next race of ESRL, which will be at... it'll be at Baku. Okay. So a street track next up. It's going to be a challenge, and then another street track afterwards. So our drivers are going to be tested to their limits for the next 2 weeks in ESRL, and we will see you for that. Goodbye.